As soon as the show starts, guess who shakes my hand? Jon Jones. And he goes, what the fuck am I supposed to do? He's a coward.
Because I don't like you, DC.
He's a coward, man. This guy was supposed to protect me. He didn't do his job.
Imagine waking up to find the UFC world on fire. Jon Jones, the legend who just retired, has already stepped back into drug testing because he might fight at, of all places, the Whitehouse. Will it be against Tom Aspinall? Maybe Francis Ngannou. We'll cover that later. In the same time, fan favorite Paddy Pimblet is trading punches with gym bully Jon Strickland, preparing probably for a strong puncher like Ilia Topuria. Buckle up, it only gets wilder from here, so let's dive right in. Ilia Topuria just grabbed the lightweight belt, but instead of playing it safe, he went straight for Arman Tsarukyan's pride. At a press event in Spain, Ilia laughed off Arman as no big deal, even saying Paddy Pimblet would be tougher. That jab stung.
So if he wants to assure his title shot, he has to fight with Justin Gaethje, because if he fights with Arman, I think that Arman's gonna beat him. So the easiest path he has right now to get the title shot is Justin.
Okay, thank you.
Stylistically.
Thank you.
Arman fired back on social media, listing every time Ilia struggled to make weight and reminding everyone about bouts Ilia pulled out of. Fans jumped into the argument, choosing sides like it was a school dodgeball game. Some said Ilia is all hype. Others claim Arman is salty because he once stepped away from a title shot against Islam Makhachev. The back and forth matters because both fighters want the same golden belt. A champion calling a top contender easy work cranks the heat for a future showdown. If Ilia keeps dismissing Arman, public pressure will mount until the UFC books the fight. And once that happens, every small insult will replay in highlight reels, making the clash feel personal.
You out, he called Gaethje out. Paddy was the one, though, that walked into the octagon. How did he become the one that got into the octagon and it wasn't you, the #1 contender?
It was the Joe Rogan mistake, and he shouldn't call his even name, bring him to the octagon. I said, this is not sport, this is WWE.
In the fight game, personal sells tickets, and both men just wrote some very marketable headlines in under 280 characters. Everyone knows Jon Strickland goes hard in the gym, sometimes too hard. So when video surfaced of Paddy Pimblet stepping into Sean's cage, most viewers braced for a beatdown. Instead, Sean surprised everybody by turning the intensity way down. He kept positions controlled, let Paddy breathe, and even joked between rounds. Paddy later said the middleweight champ was nice and chilled, which sounded odd coming from someone nicknamed Madman Sean. The footage did more than entertain. It gave fans a real look at Paddy's evolving skill set. Watching him exchange combos, defend takedowns, and grin while doing it showed he's leveling up for a possible title shot. The internet buzzed about how Sean's measured pace actually helped Paddy practice safely while still learning from a bigger, stronger fighter.
My man, hey, you're not fat. What's going on?
Like that, hey. I've never seen you not fat. Not fat, let's go. Not only fat, I'm in the PI,
I wanted to meet Strickland while we were here as well. I think he's hilarious. The champ, legend. Can't not love Jon Strickland, lad. He's one of the funniest men in MMA.
For Sean, the session softened his roughneck image. For Paddy, it proved he's serious about sharpening tools with elite partners. Moments like this, two personalities meeting halfway in a sweaty gym, build storylines that casual viewers remember when pay-per-view night rolls around. Right after sparring, the conversation swerved from jabs to gadgets. Paddy joked the only thing he's ever shot was a digital rifle in Call of Duty. Sean responded by casually pulling out his real handgun, still inside the gym, and explaining US gun laws like a proud tour guide. Paddy's eyes widened, equal parts shock and curiosity. Then Sean waved off the nerves by inviting Paddy to ride dirt bikes, boasting about the bike he wrecked 12 weeks before a title fight. Paddy politely declined, calling it too high risk.
Look at Paddy, the Conor McGregor wannabe. You don't want to see that guy with his gay little bowl cut. You can't relate to that guy, that English little prick. What are you English too? When England took your nuts and said you can't own a knife, did it hurt?
Their chat felt like two kids comparing toys, except the toys were firearms and motocross bikes. Viewers loved the odd couple moment, a British fighter stunned by American gun culture standing next to an American who rides motorcycles for fun even if it breaks bones. While none of this changes rankings or belts, it humanizes the athletes. Fans don't just watch combat, they follow personalities. Seeing Paddy startled but laughing and Sean trying to be a cool older brother makes each tweet or promo clip that follows land harder because we've peeked behind the curtain at their real-life quirks. Alexander Volkanovski may have lost his belt to Ilia, but he broke it all down on a popular podcast so a 7th grader could follow. Wrestle the bloke, he said, plain and simple.
I love challenging myself, you know what I mean? I love putting myself in this position. I think people should always do that in life. If you want to be successful in anything, challenge yourself. It's going to make you stronger, trust me. I'm twice the man I was before I started this camp because I knew the challenge ahead of me.
Volk explained that when Charles Oliveira dragged Ilia into grappling exchanges, Ilia's breathing got heavier and his legs slowed. The idea fits a classic strategy. If someone striking is scary, smother them so they can't swing freely. Volk even replayed moments where Ilia stalled, kicked legs from the top and idled to catch his breath. He believes a relentless wrestler can push Ilia into deep water. Later rounds where heart and lungs matter more than flash. Listeners loved the honesty. It wasn't trash talk. It was a veteran sharing cheat code hints. For up-and-coming lightweights, that advice rings loud. Build cardio, drill takedowns, and you might crack the unbreakable champ. For Ilia fans, the chat adds drama because they'll now watch his gas tank like hawks. Either Ilia fixes the weakness and looks unbeatable next outing, or someone follows Volk's blueprint and shocks the world. Either way, the next fight just became a must-see science experiment.
Did you break your arm at some point in the fight?
Just a scratch. We have to see.
Dan said to himself at his UFC debut in Auckland, if this guy gets to my legs and he cranks, Dan made an agreement with himself to just let it go. Like, okay, he's gonna break my legs, cool.
Dan Hooker earned a special jacket for passing 50 clean drug tests, but he calls it a jacket of trauma. During a laid-back interview, he confessed he left the coat in a Las Vegas hotel. Why? Because every test meant an awkward moment where someone watched him pee into a cup. He joked about officials staring at his belly button as if it were a zoo exhibit. Fans laughed, sympathetic yet amused. The story underlines the not-so-glamorous side of MMA. Fighters get celebrated for knockouts, yet nobody cheers when they sprint to the bathroom at dawn to satisfy anti-doping rules. Dan's lost jacket is funny, but it also spotlights the grind and privacy invasions fighters accept to keep the sport clean. Some wonder if the garment will pop up on eBay. Others picture a hotel maid warming up in a piece of rare UFC history, clueless about its backstory. Dan doesn't seem bothered. For him, the memories inside that coat are enough. In a sport full of big statements, sometimes the best one is a shrug and a joke, turning an embarrassing chore into an unforgettable punchline.
And he said that he's picking Sean Brady, obviously, this weekend. But is it personal between you two?
Not really. I just don't like him. I mean, I don't think wouldn't be friends outside the sport. I wouldn't know who he is. You know what I mean? So, no, not really.
Leon Edwards, calm and measured as ever, sat with a reporter and talked heavyweights. Even though Jon Jones announced retirement and gave up the title, Leon doesn't buy it. He calls Jones the greatest of all time and thinks money or pride will lure him back, probably against rising star Tom Aspinall. Leon broke it down like a math problem. At light heavyweight, Jones was untouchable. At true heavyweight, Tom is faster than most big men and might edge him in speed. That opinion split fans. Some shouted, "No one beats Bones." Others replied, "Youth conquers legacy." Leon's interview adds legitimate voice to the debate. He's a champion, not just a fan, so his words carry weight. The idea of Jones versus Aspinall keeps floating because well-known fighters won't let it die. Every time a champ like Leon says, "I reckon he'll come back," it nudges the UFC to keep negotiations alive. The fight may or may not happen, but talk alone fuels interest. In combat sports, buzz equals leverage, and Leon just turned up the volume by a few notches. Late at night, Jon Jones typed a short message on X. Just re-entered the testing pool. 2 weeks prior, he'd told the world he was done. Retired, title vacated, done. That retirement lasted about as long as a pizza delivery. By rejoining USADA, Jon starts the countdown clock. Fighters need months of clean tests before competing. Fans exploded with theories. Some claimed he missed the spotlight. Others pointed to the rumored UFC event at the Whitehouse in 2026, teased by former President Donald Trump.
Spar is my future in the octagon. I decided that maybe I will not retire.
Jon hinted that such a stage would be special. The move keeps every door open. If the Whitehouse card is real, imagine a beltway brawl with the Washington Monument in view. Jon's sudden U-turn also pressures the UFC. They now juggle interim champ Tom Aspinall alongside a legendary champ who might unretire any minute. The storyline is messy, but that mess sells pay-per-views. One tweet changed the heavyweight picture from quiet to chaotic. For many fans, chaos is exactly why they love MMA. A UFC event on the White House lawn sounds like fiction.
Yeah, the president said he wants a series of festivities to mark the country's 250th anniversary, including a champion UFC fight here at the White House with thousands of spectators. Now, the president has a long relationship with the UFC, and he has a close friendship with the head of UFC, Dana White.
But politics and sports blur more each year. Donald Trump, who often sits cage side, floated the idea while campaigning. Instantly, imaginations ran wild. Octagon set up near the Rose Garden, fighters walking out under fireworks, Secret Service swapping suits for monkey bars to spot takedowns. People argued about logistics, noise ordinances, crowd sizes, and whether the grass can handle ground and pound. Yet the simple whisper of a White House card achieved its purpose. Headlines everywhere. Big venues equal big legacy fights. Madison Square Garden revived New York MMA. Etihad Arena expanded to Abu Dhabi. A presidential mansion would top them all, even if it never happens. The rumor fuels training rooms today. Fighters picture historic photos and motivate themselves to make that lineup. Fans daydream about telling grandkids they watched a world title settle in front of the Oval Office. The UFC is king at turning hype into action, so the possibility alone will color broadcast packages and promotional posters for months. Conor McGregor loves grand stages, so he wasted no time jumping on the White House fantasy. He posted an AI-generated image of himself and Michael Chandler squaring off on the lawn, bragging about his sniper accuracy thanks to super sharp eyesight. Chandler clapped back, offering a red, white, and blue whooping. Their playful trash talk reignited hope for a fight many thought had fizzled. Both men have been inactive, injuries and contract details stacking up. A historic venue could light the spark they need to sign paperwork. Conor's post reminded everyone why he remains the sport's biggest draw. He can create headlines with a single picture. Chandler, ever the company man, rides that wave with good humor and hunger. Their digital back and forth drew mainstream outlets, sports, politics, even lifestyle sites, expanding MMA's reach. Whether they actually duke it out at 160 pounds on government grass or settle elsewhere, the hype cycle restarted. Like kids arguing about the best superhero, fans picked sides, made memes, and set reminders for future press conferences that don't even exist yet. In promotion, belief often precedes reality, and both fighters just gave believers something new to chew on. Tony Ferguson has spent years throwing spinning elbows and strange kicks inside the UFC cage, but now he's aiming those skills at a boxing ring on August 30th. During a late-night live stream, Tony smiled wide and said, "New field, same mission, violence." He didn't name an opponent yet, but rumors swirl about an experienced journeyman who's tough enough to last a few rounds, giving Tony time to showcase his footwork. Training clips already show him shadowboxing next to speed bags and shouting "Snap down city," even though takedowns won't help here. Fans worry about his MMA losing streak, yet they can't look away because Tony always finds weird ways to surprise. He once trained with baseballs to improve hand-eye coordination, and now he's hitting tires with a hammer to build punching power. The switch to straight punches means fewer spinning tricks, but his long reach and unbreakable chin still matter. If he wins, he could open doors for more UFC vets to try boxing under safe enough match rules. If he loses, critics will shout that the slide continues. Either way, August 30th feels like another chapter in the wild, unpredictable book called Tony Ferguson, Ian the Future. Garry is undefeated and loud, and he just aimed that loudness at welterweight contender Belal Muhammad. On social media, Ian posted side-by-side screenshots, one of him asking for a fight and another of Belal talking about other options. Ian captioned it, "Stop running, mate. Sign the dotted line." Belal fired back with a meme showing the Irish flag under a needs seasoning label, hinting Ian isn't ready. The back and forth snowballed when Ian went on a podcast and claimed Belal turned down dates in June, July, and August. He even read what he said were real text messages from matchmakers, saying Belal politely declined. Belal answered by saying Ian's ranking is too low and that he deserves a title eliminator, not a prospect. Fans split instantly. Team Garry calls Bilal scared. Team Bilal says Ian's clout chasing. Meanwhile, UFC President Dana White loves chaos. He hinted that if both men keep yapping, he might just lock them in a cage to settle it. For Ian, beating Bilal would catapult him near a title shot. For Bilal, smashing an undefeated hype train could silence doubters forever. Until papers are signed, fists fly only on Twitter, but the tension feels one tweet away from becoming real. Today's roller coaster took us from fiery lightweight trash talk to heavyweight comebacks and a possible fight outside the Oval Office. If you enjoy diving into these stories and want front row seats for every twist still to come, tap that like button and smash subscribe. Your support keeps the breakdowns flowing and the MMA drama in your feed.